Alright guys, quick little video. I get a lot of questions about how I swapped in these 2006 Mercedes ML350 seats into my 2001 Toyota Tacoma. So I'm going to show you right now everything I did to make these work in the truck. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. I'll show you the wiring and how I figured out how to wire up the power in these seats because they are fully powered, and how I made the mounting feet. Pretty straightforward, shouldn't be a very long video, and after this give you my opinion on these seats and what I think is the ultimate seat swap for this truck. So let's check it out. So I was looking for a seat swap for a while. I just wanted to upgrade the interior on the truck to kind of match the new screen that I had put in there, and also just give the truck a little bit of an upgrade. The original foam seats are super slim and just like there's not much support in them. So I was looking for a aftermarket seat, but everything was pretty expensive, and for the quality that you get for the price, if you can get used OEM seats, you get just like a top of the line construction and lots more features for the most part for a much lower price. So for instance, these seats were only $350 for both, and I got them on Craigslist. There's probably a photo of that. And I have ridden in an ML before and knew how comfortable these particular seats were, so I was excited to check these out. This little bonus about these particular ML seats is that they seem to match the interior like really well. Whatever color these seats are, like the kind of cream tan leather works perfectly in the interior, which is nice because it kind of keeps it looking like possibly it could have been from the factory with these seats, although they're pretty big. But yeah, let's check out the mounting point. So this is one of the original feet from the original seat, and I just re-welded it to the bottom rail of the Mercedes seat. And then on this side, I made my own. I took the bolt out right now because I'm going to pull the whole seat out, but you can see this is just a little flat piece of steel bent and with the hole in it. I used cardboard to mock this up. So I just set the seat down once I had put this mount on the seat rail. I set the seat down and put a piece of cardboard under here, and that's how I got this shape and everything before I put it in metal. Then I just put the metal mount that I had made onto the carpet, and I set the seat on, and then I tack welded it in place while the seat was in the car. Pulled it out and then finish welded it. So that's how I did the front here. The back, let's see, move this way. You can see now the back goes right into the original seat hole. Again, I took the bolts out because I'm going to pull these out in a second, but that's just a hole right through the seat rail. There's no foot on this one. Goes straight through, and then let's go all the way back here if we can. This last one might be the trickiest. Let's see. And the new mount for this as well. So you can see it goes straight through the original hole. This is just a flat piece of steel that goes underneath the seat rail like that, like an L. Same thing, put the seat down, put a piece of cardboard under, marked it, made it out of metal, and then set it in here and tack welded it in while it was in place, and then took the seat out and finished all the welding. So that's the back mount. That's the other back mount, and then the front. So actually, now that the seat's all forward like this, I'm gonna pull this out and show you the wiring. Okay, so with the seat out, you can see why the floor of the Tacoma does kind of make it difficult in some cases for a seat swap, which is right here, these little raised portions. So the front mounting point is a couple inches higher in the front than it is in the back, and it's a lot higher on this corner. So the original seats, no problem because they're so thin the seat can be up this high and level, and then the feet just come down here. But with bigger seats like the one I'm using, since it's from an SUV, the profile of the seat is a lot taller. So that's why I have them mounted as low as possible, and they're still maxed out going down as low as possible, like adjustment wise, because this height of the seat is higher than like the stock one. The normal one's probably only like this tall. These are electrical, they are adjustable up and down, but I have to have them pushed all the way down just to make it low enough to fit. And that's one of the main reasons why I don't think this seat is the ultimate seat for a first gen Tacoma, although it is really comfortable and it works well for me. I would like to find a seat that's slimmer and just as comfortable. Here's the power for inside the truck. I just have it running under the carpet, out through the firewall into the fuse box. I have like an auxiliary Blue Sea fuse box with a fuse, and this is one of them. And it's just power and ground. That's all it is. These are constant on to the battery, so they work even when the car is turned off. And then this is the original seatbelt light. And since I reused the seatbelt from the original seat, then that still works too. It just plugs right into that. That's a standalone thing. So super simple electrical on the car side, and then also on the seat. I'll show you that. Okay, so here's the bottom of the seat. Again, this is a 2006 Mercedes ML350. So I don't know how many other ML seats will have this same wiring configuration, but this is what I'm dealing with, and this is how I figured it out. I basically just found the brown wire and the two red wires, red and white and red and black. Red is almost always going to be your positive wire, and brown is commonly ground, sometimes green too, but earth tones are usually ground. The other way you could look at it is looking at the wires coming directly off the actuator motors, and then just trace them and figure it out from there. You can see here, this one is brown. These guys are for airbags and stuff like that. The little yellow guys are like the kind of, I want to say emergency, but this is the airbag. All the safety stuff is yellow. So I totally bypassed all these wires, as in I didn't hook any of them up for power because I don't want any power going to them and possibly actuating a airbag. So two power wires, two of the red ones spliced together to make one. You have the ground wire, and then they're into just a really simple automotive style connector, and I got these on Amazon. They're not very cheap. I'll put the link to like my Amazon shop with everything I've used for the truck is in the description of this video, but it has these in there. I think they're like 16 bucks for a pack of multi-sized ones, but they work really well. They don't fall apart, and I think the style of them is called like a Deutsch connector, basically like German automotive style connector. Really nice connectors, but yeah, that's the power. Then the seat buckle is just off the original seat. That's the nice thing about these seats, is that the seat belt buckle is, I just took it off the old seat, put it on here, and it's not connected to the seat itself at all. So the seatbelt light still works, and it's not illuminated on your dash because this is just the stock seatbelt buckle. So yeah, that's the bottom of the seat. Maybe I'll take some measurements for you guys. So if you're trying to do this in the same truck or a different truck, you'll get an idea of how these seats layout works, and maybe it'll work for a different truck as well. Okay, so center of the rail to center of the rail is 16 and a quarter inches at the base, and I think it's the same up at the top here. 16 and a quarter from center point to center point. Overall width of the rails is 17 and 3/4. I'm gonna adjust this to how I normally have it, and then take some measurements so you guys can do this on your own seats as well. So I don't think I can sit that far back. Okay, so this is like the main thing that I think is the problem, is right here to here, like the top of my legs right here. This is 12.5 inches, I think, right here. It looks like 12.5, and this is as low as I can put it. You can go up more, but then it brings your feet into the steering wheel. Like I said, it's not an issue for me with the length of my legs and how tall I am, because I don't need to be any closer. The closer I get, the higher the seat, the front of the seat is gonna go, kind of like a ramp, right? So actually the taller you are, probably the lower and the better this is gonna work for you. You can get all the way back like this, way back here. It's gonna be even lower. But for me, I like it right about, probably like right about there. So again, this is as low as it will go. The back is as low as it will go right now. Although sometimes I bring it up just a little. The seat's moving funny because the bolts aren't in the back right now. But yeah, pretty much just like this. So I'm gonna take some measurements and then you guys can see if that works for you from there. But so this is how I have it adjusted for myself. From the top of the seat right here to the window visor is 27 inches. From the bottom base of the, oh man, I should have put a bolt through here before I did this. From the bottom base of the seat to the headliner is 37 and a half. And then, what else would be useful? Yeah, so 37 and a half right here. So if your torso, if sitting on the ground, your torso from your butt to the top of your head is anywhere close to 37 and a half. This is probably too close for you, but for me, it's got a good fist distance over the top. Maybe measure your stock seat and see what it is. I'd actually be curious. Leave that in the comments if you have a first-gen Tacoma with the bucket seats. I'd love to know what this measurement is from the bottom of the seat to the top here. But yeah, we got the measurement from here to here, from here to here, and I am 5'10", and pretty like equally legs to torso ratio. I'm not like someone who has a super tall torso or a super long leg, so I think that this seat would probably work for you pretty well if you're the same height as me. All that being said, is this my favorite seat swap for this truck? Well, it's the only one I've used personally, but if I could pick any seat available out there aftermarket wise, what I would look for is probably a E90 series BMW like M3 seat, or even a newer one. But I'm pretty sure the sedans are going to have a more compact seat for like right in this area, which will let you sit this a lot lower. And even though I wouldn't want it so much lower, I would love to be able to just micro adjust it to be perfect, because I wish this was just a little lower. Like if this was just a little lower, I'd have zero complaints, maybe like right here. Then I could just kind of adjust it and tune it. The whole thing would feel good without kind of sitting back a little bit. So yeah, guys, if you are looking to do this exact seat swap, hopefully this helps. If you're looking to do a seat swap and you have options for other seats, like I said, I'd probably look for a BMW E90 or a Lexus seat or another Toyota seat. Don't get too worried about the brand name like matching up, because you really just need to find the positive wires and the negative wires that go to the motors. That's always going to be the same. You know, you can even add your own wires to the backs of the motors. And that should be able to work with the controls, as long as they don't have some kind of weird like motherboard computer thing in there. But yeah, anyways guys, seat swap in my first gen Tacoma, Mercedes seats in the Toyota. Very comfortable. I have 2 years on these seats, so I feel like that's a pretty competent review. It's not something I've done super recently, so I've had a lot of road time in these, about 40,000 miles. So overall really comfortable, and hopefully this is helpful.